What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ethan's Exotic Escapades. Today we are here to pick up some animals, but before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe to join the tribe, and let's go ahead and pick these guys up and take them to the store. All right, I just picked everything up and you can't see everything right now, but I'll show you what all I have whenever I get to the store. All right, we've just made it back to the store. We're gonna go ahead and check out the new animals that I've got. So I'm gonna be back here in 1 second with the first animal. All right. Here's the first animal right here. This is a desert king snake, and this guy is very sweet. You can see that he is extremely docile, which is one of the reasons why these guys are so popular in the pet trade, because they're known for being extremely sweet in captivity. Shout out to Abe from Two Raw Exotics. But this is the first thing I wanted to show you guys that I picked up. And I do have another snake that I want to show you guys as well. But I'm going to go ahead and put this guy back inside of its enclosure. And then I'll be back here in a second with the next snake, which is even smaller than this guy. And a snake that I didn't even know existed. So I'm going to go get that and I'll be right back. All right, here is the next snake right here. And you can see what I was talking about. He is very small compared to the first snake I showed you guys. But this is a Colorado desert shovelnose snake. And I'm assuming that they get that name based off of the way that their head is shaped. Kind of similar to a shovel. And it has this very vibrant striping pattern, which before anyone tries to say that this looks like a coral snake, it is not, and it is a non-venomous snake. So wanted to show this guy off, and it's so small that I have to feed it crickets. That's the only thing that is small enough for me to feed this guy. But just like the first one, it's also very tame. And I didn't know it existed before, but now I do, and this is a pretty cool snake. Here it is right here, guys. This is a tortoise. And before I say what kind it is, see if you can guess what kind it is down in the comments below. All right, this is a redfoot tortoise. And get that name because of these red colorations all down their feet. And this is a full-grown adult, and it's a male. And if you don't know how to tell the difference between male and females with tortoises, there's a pretty easy way to tell. And that is right here on the bottom of its shell. See how it's concaved in? That is what lets you know that this is a male. And the reason it's concaved in like that is because that allows this guy to mount the female. So very easy way to tell whenever they are much larger adults. But these are very popular because they don't get as large as some of the other tortoise species. This is a full-grown one right here, and very much able to be kept as a pet because it does not have a humongous size that it will reach up to. Now, these guys do live pretty long, so not as long as some of the other species of tortoises, but still pretty decent lifespan on these guys. And they have these really cool scoots right here. That's what they call these. And as they grow older, they develop more and more of these lines. And that's a way to tell how old a tortoise is. So this guy is very cool and extremely tame. He even has a little bit of greens on his face because I just got finished feeding these guys. But I have him with my leopard tortoises right now. And if you want to pick this guy up, go ahead and stop on by the store because he will be here to greet you. And look at how adorable he is. He's ready for someone to come hold him. Here's the next guy right here. This is an aquatic turtle species right here, which almost every turtle is aquatic, but this is an alligator snapping turtle. And normally these guys go crazy trying to bite, whipping their head back, trying to get anybody that's trying to intimidate them. But this guy is being very sweet, and this is actually the only species of snapping turtle that can be sold legally in my state, which is South Carolina. So this is not a common snapping turtle. So before anyone any comments saying that it's illegal for me to sell this. The alligator snapping turtles are not illegal to sell. So I did pick up one of these guys, and I put him in the enclosure that I was going to put a caiman in, which I have seen people successfully keep caimans with these guys, but I have him right now by himself, and you can see his bottom right here, mostly skin. These are his legs right here, and this is their long tail. The tail will get even bigger than this as it gets older, and these guys get pretty humongous. But they're very cool. They really do look like alligators. They get the name because of their way that their shell is shaped. I mean, does this not look like an alligator tail? I mean, I think it looks identical. So that's why they get the name alligator snapping turtle. And the other part of their name, snapping turtle, is because they will snap hard. And the bite force of these guys is very, very powerful. If I put my finger there, even this small guy would be strong enough to almost snap my finger in half. So if you have this, you got to be very careful with these guys. But luckily, he is not being very aggressive at all, which is not very typical of these guys. But since I have been handling him a pretty decent amount so far, he is already pretty tame. But I would not recommend holding these guys unless you have some experience, because they can snap their head back and their bite is very bad. Next up, I want to show you guys this awesome reptile right here. This is a lizard, and this is one of my favorite species of lizard. It's a tegu, and more specifically, this is the red tegu. So get their name from their beautiful red coloration right here. And this is just a juvenile right here. These guys can get up to 6 foot long. So definitely a very big lizard. And if you want these guys as a pet, it's a big commitment. So what's really awesome about these is you can keep these as pets legally in South Carolina with no permit, unlike the Argentine black and white tegu and the blue tegu. So if you want to get one of these guys, just come on, stop by the store and pick this guy up. These are very awesome pets, and they're able to be so tame that they're almost like a dog. Really, I would say exactly like a dog in their personality and how sweet they can be to you, loyal, and you can even get these guys to eat out of your hand. So very, very cool lizard. And if you guys don't know me, I'm sure y'all do, but if you don't, you know that tegus are my favorite species of lizard. But I'm going to go ahead and put this guy back, and let's go check out the next animal. The next thing I want to show you guys is this turtle right here. It's another aquatic turtle. Not as big as the last one that I just showed you guys, but this is a western painted turtle. And these are very popular in the pet trade as well. These along with red ear sliders, which red ear sliders are extremely invasive in a lot of different states. But this is a western painted turtle, and they get that name because it kind of looks like a painting almost on the sides of their face and on their arms as well. And they have this very pretty circular pattern around their scales of their shell right here. You can see. But this is a very cute little guy right here. I'm going to go ahead and put him back, but you can see this pattern down here at the bottom of their shell as well. All right, I'm over here where our Quaker parrots are. I just got these guys. These are blue Quaker parrots, and they're in a temporary cage right now. They're going to be going into a much larger cage that I just recently got. I just have to move it in here, so it's going to be probably a couple days, but they're in this little temporary cage for now, and I wanted to show these guys off. They're barking because these guys came from the Humane Society, so there were a lot of dogs there, and I guess they picked it up. These are 5 years old, and they're already paired with each other. It's a male and a female. So they're able to talk, and they're starting to teach my green Quaker parrots how to talk as well. But these are a very cool new addition to the store, and if you want to pick these guys up, go ahead and stop on by and see them. They are very, very cool, and my favorite thing about these guys is they will laugh at you whenever you make a laughing noise. I'm going to see if I can get them to laugh real quick. You probably won't be able to hear them, but nope. They only want to do it whenever they're not being recorded. But that's typically how it goes. So let's go ahead and move on to the next animal. Next up, I wanted to show this guy off right here. This is a Sulcata tortoise right here. And it didn't come from Two Raw Exotics, but I wanted to tell y'all about a crazy story that happened to this guy. So a couple of days ago, this guy was stolen from the store, and I didn't notice until I was closing that there weren't two tortoises in the enclosure like there normally was, because I had to feed these guys. And when I noticed that it was gone, I was devastated. I pretty quickly realized that somebody had stolen it, and I went immediately to social media and posted all about this guy so that hopefully I would get some information, because my camera at the store did not catch who stole this guy on camera. So I thought that it was going to be impossible for me to find out where it was. But luckily, after being posted on social media, I found out that it was taken to another store where they asked for a box to put it in, and they were caught on camera at that other store. So big thank you to that store owner in Greenwood, South Carolina, for helping me figure out who it was. We posted pictures and videos online of who exactly stole this guy. And a big thanks to the Greenwood Police Department, because they played a huge role in getting this guy back. And that's the main thing that I care about. It's starting to get colder here, so these guys need a special heat, and they need special UV lighting. And if they don't have it, especially when it's cold, these guys are just little babies. So they are going to have very bad health if they do not have the proper heating requirements, and even most likely die. But luckily, this guy was safely returned to me, and is happy, much more happy now, because he's back with his other little buddy. But I had to tell you all about that crazy story that happened just a couple days ago. I'm just so lucky that I managed to get this guy back. But I'm going to go ahead and put him back inside of his enclosure with his little buddy, and then I'm going to talk about the next thing that I have. All right, I'm here with the next animal right here, and this guy, his name is Luna. It is a cockatoo right here. It's a special species of cockatoo as well. This came from the animal sanctuary in Abbeville. If you guys don't know Raja, he is the owner and CEO of Milele Wildlife Sanctuary in Abbeville, South Carolina. So got this guy from him because I'm going to be working with this guy, trying to get him to be sweet, because he came from a bad situation and wasn't able to be really handled a lot at all. So he is pretty aggressive. He's bitten a couple of people in my family trying to get him to be used to being handled and, used to people. But got him in this temporary cage for right now. This is actually about to be changed in just a few minutes here to a really huge cage that I just got. And this guy has not bitten me since I have taken over. It's very, very sweet. It loves for me to put my hand up against its cage right here. And then I learned from actually a customer how to get this guy used to being handled and used to human interaction. So you've got to let him choose to be pet. So like what he's doing right now, you see how he's leaning over to me? That is him showing that he wants me to pet him. And since he doesn't have a mate, he has these feathers that need to be plucked a little bit so that they can develop into full feathers. And that is why he's leaning over to me whenever I put my hand against the cage like this, because it wants me to help him with his feathers. So this guy, I've already fallen in love with him. The first time I met him, he was not very fond of me. But over the course of a couple of days, I've already gotten him to be sweet to me, and still not bitten me so far. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But you can see him right here, and he's already able to talk as well. So this is a really cool new addition to the store, and he'll be here for quite a little while until he is ready to go back to the sanctuary, and hopefully by that time he'll be sweet. which I think he will be because he's already being such a very good boy. He loves to say hello. So when you walk into the store, I guarantee you he's going to be saying hello to you. But can't get too close to the cage because he does not like very many people right now. But eventually, he will love everybody. So welcome, Luna, to the store. And if you want to see this guy, go ahead and stop on by and see him. Before we move on to the next animal, I actually did want to show you guys that I was telling the truth whenever I say that they get bigger cages. This is Luna right here, and he has himself a much larger cage. So you can see how much happier he actually is. Are you dancing for us? Hello. You going to say hello? Hello. Hello. Hey. So he's decided to talk to us, but had to show, yeah, you dancing for us. Yes, you are. But there's his new cage. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next animal. Okay, here is the last animal that I wanted to show you guys, and I'm babysitting this little girl right here. This is a female marmoset, and she's already 2 years old, so these are one of the smallest species of monkeys in the world. They do not get that big at all, as you can see. She is a little camera shy. So later tonight, I'm going to get her out and show her off a little bit closer because I cannot let this girl out because if I let her out right now, she is going to jump all over the place and I will never be able to catch her. These are very similar to squirrels or sugar gliders in the sense that they do not like to be handled a whole lot. They don't like to be picked up a lot, which is kind of the same for a lot of monkeys. They really like to choose what they want to do. So it's just like a little kid that's always on sugar, always had a lot of candy and crazy all the time. That is what this girl is like. So they don't make extremely good pets. They're very, very needy and they need a lot of attention. So this is not a very good pet to get, even though they look absolutely adorable, and I do love this girl. I've decided to nickname her Curie, which, if you guys don't know anything about me, I've said probably multiple times, and I've named multiple of my animals after Fallout, which is a video game franchise. So she is named after a female robot from that franchise. But she is very sweet and is really nice to me so far. I'm going to get her out later. She has her little pocket in the back there, which I found out that that's the easiest way to get her back inside of her little crate is putting the little pocket right there in the back and then letting her choose to go back inside of the crate. But she's kind of checking me out, trying to figure out what's going on. But luckily, I am going to be taking this little girl back to my house. She has to go everywhere with me because they need a lot of attention. So I'm going to go ahead and take this girl to my house and take her out. And of course, I'm going to show you guys how she is out of her little enclosure right here. But one more thing I wanted to say about monkeys is they are, well, specifically marmosets, is you don't have to give them a lot of baths because if you do, it'll get rid of a lot of their essential oils that they have on their skin, and you don't want to do that. And another reason is right after you give them a bath, if you don't have a diaper on these guys, they're going to pee on their hand and rub it all over themselves because they don't like the smell of being clean. So that is another thing that I've learned about these little marmosets. But I'm going to go ahead and take her to my house now, and I'll show y'all whenever I get there. Just arrived at home, and I've already let her out of her crate. You can see her right here jumping all over the place in my bathroom. One thing that I noticed is completely different about these kinds of monkeys. Marmosets make a different noise with their mouth instead of the normal noises that different monkeys make. They make more bird-like sounds and squeaks, which is very, very cool. As you can see, I finally got her used to me after having her out for a couple of hours. She is already eating out of the palm of my hand, and she is very, very curious. She is constantly wanting to know what's going on around her, and she's always interested in all of her surroundings. I didn't realize how much these monkeys like to jump all over the place. I knew they like to jump, but this little girl is very hyper. All right, I'm back at the store, and I've got one more thing I want to show you guys. This is Pretty Bird right here, and my friend Raja is going to be out of town for a while, so he had to have someone babysit his prized possession. And of course, I wanted to take her because she is adorable, and she is going to be a very awesome new addition to the store. If you want to see her, come check her out at the store, and she'll talk to you, and I might even let you hold her. But that's going to do it for today's exotic escapade. Let me know what animal was your favorite down in the comments below. And if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe to join the tribe, and I'll see you on the next one.